Hello there, Chase from 974 Robotics, and I'm here to give a short little tutorial about autonomous selection in RobotC. So, autonomous selection is basically a way of having more than one autonomous program. So, in competition, teams can block your autonomous, denying points and possibly damaging your robot. This is bad, so having multiple autonomous programs makes it harder to block and will keep other teams guessing at what your autonomous really is. Um, so as far as hardware goes, it's really pretty simple. You can use any sensor, although we did use a potentiometer, which is pictured at the bottom of the slide. You could use rubber bands on limit switches, bumper switches, but the potentiometer is the easiest to use. The VEX LCD screen can also be used, however, it's a bit more complicated, and this tutorial will not go into detail about it. So, as logic is pretty simple as well in this. The method that we uses both the pre-autonomous task and the autonomous task in the RobotC. The RobotC competition template. In the pre-autonomous, the sensor value is read and stored to a variable, and in the autonomous, the variable will be read and autonomous will be executed depending on the variable's value. We use this method because instead of reading the sensor value just within autonomous, because it reads the value of the sensor as soon as the robot is turned on. So if the sensor value is changed after it's powered on, the variable will still have the same value. So I guess now all that's left is just to do some coding. So right here is the competition template without all the comments and the placeholders for testing. And then I set up a potentiometer in Digital 1. So let's go ahead and start. So first off, we're going to need a variable to hold the program the value of the program that we're going to be running. So let's just make an integer, and let's name it program select. And then right here, let's make an if statement in the pre-autonomous. So if sensor value of input 1, and so we shouldn't use equals equals right here because we're going to want a range, because you're not quite going to be able to get it exactly on that number. So let's give it so first off, let's make it under 4,000. And since our value input 1 is greater than 2,000. Now let's do program select equals 1. And then generally when you do this for real, you'll have a whole bunch more if statements and else if statements going all the way down, but since we're keeping it simple just for the sake of this example, we're just going to put an else in, and then program select equals 2. So there you go. So now in autonomous, all we need to do is do if program select equals 1 equals sorry, then there would be your autonomous. So we'll just leave that blank for now, and then else if program select equals 2, then there would be your second autonomous. So the cool thing about this is if you've got multiple drivers for your robot, not just like you've got one base driver and one ARM driver. I'm talking about like multiple ARM drivers and multiple base drivers, and they all prefer different controls. You can use your another sensor In fact, let's set up another sensor. Motors and sensors set up. And it's another potentiometer in this case. Okay. And then set up another thing like this. Sensor value in 2 is less than 4,000. And sensor value input 2 is greater than 2,000. And then let's make another integer called int driver select. And then driver select equals 1, else driver select equals 2. So once we do that, we've got two drivers here, and then let's put an if statement here. If driver select equals 1 equals like that, then we'll have the first driver's code in here, and then would be helpful to have something to compare it against. Else while true. Like that. So then you can have two control schemes for your drivers. Alright, so I think that concludes this tutorial. The download link to the code that we just did is in the description, and we'll be putting up more videos like this in the near future, although probably over the summer. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching.